Hey guys, it's Brian again from LakeHickoryScuba and Marina. This is going to be another commentated video. Just recently got back from a trip, took a group of divers down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida to do some diving. If you ever dive down out of Fort Lauderdale, a great group to go out with, I'll give a shout out to is Sea Experience. Bill Cole runs the shop. He's a course director down there, one of the oldest shops in Fort Lauderdale. Super nice guy. They always treat us like gold. So we want to give a shout out to them guys at Sea Experience. But during this dive, there was an incident with a diver who was on the boat. During his safety stop, he wasn't part of our group, he was with a different group of guys. But during his safety stop, in a nutshell, he ran out of air. And two reasons I'm posting this. One, there's going to be a link in the description below of a ScubaBoard article. In that article, the poster on there, he's asking, have you ever been involved in an emergency situation where it was directly with you, another student, a diver, or anything, and tell a little bit about it. And so it made me think, okay, this would be a good opportunity to upload this video to show you what happens in a stressful situation or emergency situation. And what you're looking at during this video and what I'm going to commentate on is recognizing those telltale signs. Give me just 1 second here to pause this because you probably hear it on camera. I'm actually editing the video now. But being able to recognize a diver that's in distress and taking action during the stress phase of it versus waiting until an emergency occurs and then taking action. And one thing that we teach all our new rescue divers is the easiest way to solve a problem is preventing that problem from ever happening. And during the video, you're going to see me attempt to prevent a problem from happening. However, the diver neglected to take that help, and it could have been a lot worse situation. But hopefully you'll learn during this video telltale signs to look to see if a diver's in distress. And like I said, in a nutshell, this diver runs out of air during his safety stop due to mismanagement of air. But you'll see that, and I'm going to commentate it through it. So guys, pay attention to this video. I really hope you learned something from it. And like I said, make sure you check the description below. I'll put a link for Sea Experience's website, their Facebook page, whole 9 yards. They're a great group of dives. And also put a link for the ScubaBoard article that made me want to post this on there. So guys, hope you learned from the video. Okay guys, so basically we're ending our wreck dive here and we're coming up to our safety stop depth. And there's quite a few of us on the line. I've got a group of 3 with me, counting myself. This is one of my divers in front of me, and directly above me is another one of my divers. But if you'll notice, there's a gentleman directly underneath our female diver here. As he's coming up the line, I want you to watch his mannerism. Simply is something, what he just did, looking at his gauge there, that seems like just a typical reaction that everybody would do during ascent. There's nothing wrong with that. But watch him throughout this video. Watch how many times he checks his gauges. I want you to watch his body mannerisms as far as his buoyancy control. And we're going to talk about each one. If you hadn't already noticed, he is constantly looking at that watch or that computer about every 5 seconds. He's sitting here looking at it. And one would first think, well, he's just monitoring his depth, checking his ascent rate. But now you can start watching him. He'll look down, see who's below him. Look up, see who's above him. He'll pick up his wrist once again, look at his dive computer. And he's actually starting to crowd some of our other divers on the line. And just from my training and experience over the years, and here you can even see that he's starting to kick just to stay on the line instead of manipulating his buoyancy. Just from my training and experience over the years, that is a telltale sign of a diver who is stressed and who is starting to forget some basic skills, and he's starting to get worried. So what I did is I kind of pushed off the line, sent my diver up a little bit higher, still within safety stop range, and I kind of hovered over the stressed out diver there. And what I'm trying to do is actually look at his gauges or his computer, because I got a good strong feeling he's running low on air here. However, I was unable to actually look at the computer, but I tried to position myself between him and my other divers so that in the event that he was to bolt up that line, he wouldn't run into them. He would basically have to go through me to get to them. Just, I guess, as a protective procedure towards my other divers. But I also wanted to be there to assist him in any way possible. Here in a minute, I get back on the line, and I try to get his attention multiple times, asking him if he's okay. And it's as if he doesn't even see me give him the okay signal. When he finally does acknowledge that I'm asking him, "Are you okay?" he shakes his head no, and he gives me a symbol of what I assume to be 200 psi, because he looks at his computer, he shakes his head no, and he gives me 2 fingers up. So at that point, I'm assuming he's at 200 psi. We're roughly at 15, 16 foot deep here. We're doing the safety stop, and you can tell he's really wanting to get to the surface. Now, the gentleman directly below him there on the line, that was another diver in his group. He keeps looking at him for safety stop, and he's asking, "Can we go up? Can we go up?" And there I'd signaled. He looked at me. He looked back down. Here in a minute, he will actually acknowledge me, and you'll see here he acknowledged me. He said, "No, I'm not good. I've got 200." Which 200 on a safety stop is not bad in 15 foot of water, but if he's already stressed, I said, "Here, take my alternate there." He refused it. I asked him again to take my alternate. Once again, he refused it. At this point, I stayed directly in front of him on the line. I have my alternate ready to deploy to him at any given time. Once we have finished our safety stop, I'll go ahead and let him surpass me. My divers have already surfaced at that point, so there's no risk of him bumping into them or running them out of the way. But to get back to the problem itself, recognizing signs of stress. It's obvious right here. You can tell he is constantly looking at his gauges. Can I go up? Can I go up? There was more to the story that I didn't know until I get back on the boat. Once he breached the surface, I came up behind him. I signaled for the dive master to keep eyes on him. You'll see that, and you should be able to hear that on the video. But I signaled for the dive master to keep eyes on him, that something's not right with him. When everything is said and done and we get back on the boat, the dive master and I sit down, and the dive master had actually checked his gauges. And when he stepped onto the boat off the ladder, he had 5 psi in his tank. So when he had signaled that he had 200 due to his signs of stress, I already knew he was lower than 200 on that safety stop line. And here you can see he's kind of bolting on up to the surface, pulling himself along. Here in a minute, he just shoots off the line and starts swimming to the boat. So he's roughly 7-8 foot deep here. He starts kicking. But in a rescue situation, it's always better to try to prevent a problem instead of trying to solve the problem after it happens. Now, if it happens, yeah, we need to be able to take care of the situation. But if we can prevent one, in this case, I don't know if it was mismanagement of air. I don't know if it was simply just not being comfortable in the water. But there was obviously something wrong with this diver. Even watch him as he's climbing up the ladder here. He will actually bombard one of my other divers that was in our group and kind of crowd her on the ladder. So he is obviously in distress. He wants to get out of the water. But for any potential new rescue student out there, be able to recognize these signs. Don't wait for a problem to happen. If you see a diver, they're giving those signs out there, go ahead and get close to them. Ask them if they're okay. Maybe go ahead and put your hand on your alternate if you needed to deploy it or whatnot. Here's where I'm telling the dive master something's up with him, to keep eyes on him. So, guys, I hope you learned something from this video. I'm putting this on here for you guys. This is something I know other instructors out there, we notice this all the time, whether it's with our students, fellow divers, or just people who we see out here diving. But being able to recognize it just as a diver, even without rescue training, you can usually tell if somebody's a little hesitant about doing something, or they're worried about something, they're struggling with something. Get close to them. Remember, we got a responsibility to these other divers, and we want to take care of them. We want to be proactive. So I really hope you learned something from this, guys. As always, make sure you check back each week for a new video. We post them constantly for you guys. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. You like us on Facebook. Pin us on Pinterest. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. And as always, guys, we appreciate your business.
I don't know what his deal was. He was freaking. You alright?